All right, guys and gals, I just want to focus on one more topic of the day and just want to go further into the gaming industry, where it is now, where it is headed, and really which platforms you should invest, the status of gaming right now in 2026. So, just before I go with the big announcements that happened like a week or two ago, like a week and a half ago, something like that. Um, Listen, the whole issue with the RAM chips shortages, the direction of AI, taxes, the tariffs, economic inflation in different countries. Like the thing is, like normally every gaming generation, when the big three or the big four, when Sega used to do hardware, like the manufacturing cost would go down, But this time there are price hikes, which I don't want to call this the worst generation, but this is easily the most expensive gaming generation of all time. Easily, with many different retailers. Like I said, global tariffs and economic shifts and so forth. Like even games, like the actual software itself, like becoming astronomically high, like as high as $80, $70 sometimes. Like started 70, now going up 80, 90, which is absolutely crazy. I can imagine GTA 6 being between $90 to $100 when it comes out in November. Like it's gonna be crazy. But yeah, it's supposed to go cheaper over time. Like the eighth generation with the PS4, Switch, Xbox One got cheaper. But and even with games like maximum $50 to $60, like once buying them once in a while, it's still high, but not to where it is now. So that's just crazy. And we had like the gaming announcements of, from all three plus, the Summer Game Fest and Gamescom coming in August. Whether it's the Final Fantasy VII Revelation or the trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4, or a lot of information like the release date for the Halo remake and more on the Gears of War E-Day. Like, I'm not going to go over a whole bunch of games that were announced. You can easily find them online. So you can just catch up on that. Even another one like the Resident Evil Veronica remake or the remake Code X. Resident Evil Veronica Code X. I might be incorrect on the original title, but the remake is just simply called Resident Evil Veronica, but you'll find all that online. So, without getting off topic, it's just talking about, okay, where is gaming right now? So, we know that the initial launch of the ninth generation, it was a bit disastrous with COVID-19 pandemic. So there were scalpers selling Series X and PS5 consoles at like $1,000, which is insane. So many games had to be delayed. It affected development. Gaming companies had to find ways to work remotely. I guess maybe a few or some games, like there were like buggy launches, but it's a good thing over time work has been done to improve it or add extra content and so forth. And I hate like if some games don't do well, like there have been studio closures. It hasn't been nice to see, especially when Microsoft invested like billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars and like they had to close some studios. That's been discouraging to see. I was actually shocked when Sony recently did, I think in mid-March or early April, of a well-known studio. So that was disappointing. And then that leaves with gaming PC. At least like with gaming, I'm not saying it's my favorite, but with gaming PC, like up-to-date specs and SSD, even though the consoles are adapting to SSD, which is a must-have, must-do recommendation. But yeah, one of the things like obviously gaming PC has an advantage right now. Yes, the hardware can be expensive. Okay, even it's like a gaming PC laptop with 32 gigs, which is more than enough. 16 gigabytes is fine. i7, AMD Ryzen 7, and so forth. Uh, what else? Yeah, high processing. Like, I mean, getting a lot of amazing games on Steam. There's always going to be generous discounts. Yes, Sony and I think Microsoft does have good discounts, but you'd be surprised by how generous the Steam discounts are. And I know the same with Epic, but Epic Games, like still every Thursday they give away games. Sometimes big budget AAA kind of games, but mostly solid indie level, double A indie level games. Some of the indie games I got for free, they're actually really nice, enjoyable. Not all of them I finished, but when you explore indie games, you'll just appreciate it more. So that's why PC gaming, I think, is having the edge right now. Barrier to entry plus free online multiplayer. Which brings me to like other console options. Like, I mean, look, if you're a Sony loyalist, sure, the PS5 is still okay, but like $600+. Like, I'm seeing it's $620, but seriously, the PS5 Pro, $950? Yo, man, $900? $950 is absolute insanity for a console with no disc drive. It doesn't even have a disc drive still, and it's $950. What are you doing? Absolute insanity. It just makes the Switch 2 look good, which is why I have to go with the Switch 2, because Mario Kart World, I know there's a Pokopia. I think maybe 2 or 3 other games got like cross-generation release, like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, and even some previous generation games getting like a Switch 2 upgrade. And there was a recent announcement of some of those games, so that's still ongoing. But despite a few drawbacks like of the Switch 2, like the LCD screen, it definitely does provide a technical better improvement. Just be aware by September it's going to be $500. Now look, if you don't care too much about the Nintendo Switch gaming era ecosystem that Nintendo are right now, they're on a really good roll since the Switch in 2017, like becoming second best selling of all time. Maybe the Switch OLED from previous generation will be fine. At least it has an OLED screen, 7-inch, good speakers, better kickstand, 64 gigabytes of storage. But you're still going to face the annoying problems of somewhat slow loading, especially when it comes to the digital store, and the really, really, really choppy frame rates, whereas Switch 2 really fixes a lot of that. But Switch 2, better investment if you care so much about Nintendo gaming. But if you're just like casual gaming, whatever, you don't want to invest too much and just maybe a few games from the Switch, Switch OLED is fine. It's a decent investment. Okay, on the Xbox side, this might be a little tricky, right? Because I'm gonna go with I want to start with the Series S. The reason why I say that is because it's the little guy, the little brother to the Series X, the better, more powerful, 4K ready console that's more powerful enough, actually slightly above what the PS5 offers. But when you compare it side by side, no one will notice, no one will care. So if you're more of an hardcore Xbox gamer loyalist from the days of Xbox One or even Xbox 360, yes, continue with the Series X. Does a great job with backwards compatibility and so forth. 4K gaming, disc drive. What else can I say? Like solid design, hardware is solid. It's just nothing too fancy, good enough. Series X is the one to go to, but only if you have had previous generations before it, if you've been a loyalist, like I said. Series S, the issue is, yes, it's fine, casual gaming, so it was meant to be cheap, but like I said, like everything Xbox related had to become expensive. So whether it's accessories, gamepads, like even the consoles itself, expensive, going from 300, the Series S now to like close to 500 something, like, which it is what it is. But the issue with the Series S, other than no disk drive, the resolution and frame rates, like the overall graphics of the Series S, like you can get a better gaming experience playing the same games on a gaming laptop or gaming PC. You know, whether it's Assassin's Creed Shadows or Monster Hunter Wilds, Silent Hill 2, you know, Metal Gear Solid, Delta Snake, you know, just some games I'm mentioning from 2024, 2025 that like really don't look good or perform well on the Series S, but obviously are better on the Series X and will be excellent, provide excellent gaming experience, graphics and performance-wise on a very good, powerful gaming PC or laptop. So this is where I am at, like, okay, like with the generation focusing more on 4K, I really like that how all three of the consoles with backwards compatibility, that's my favorite feature. Emphasis on the SSD with the super loading. I shouldn't even forget about ray tracing. I'm not sure if it's on a Switch too, but definitely more of a feature with the PS5, PS5 Pro, Series X, and maybe rarely on Series S just because of the limitations that it provides. But I mean, like, even like the PS5 being $700 when it launched, it just wasn't. I just couldn't justify it for anyone. I couldn't say yes, go ahead for it. On top of buying a separate disc drive with it. It's good that the Series X does have a digital version, if that matters to you, but there isn't an option to add a digital version later, and there is a 2 terabyte mode. So that's just where I'm at with the state of gaming. It's not like I dislike this generation or don't want to invest in this generation. I'm just not ready right now. And as much as I hate to admit it, I'm always fucking broke anyway. I'm broke as fuck with not much fucking money. That's just my fucking reality. But yeah, like, that's just where I'm at. Like, I'm fine anyway right now. I'm still enjoying great games. I got to finish my backwards compatible, my backlog of games, excuse me. And the great thing is that with a PS4 Pro, I've got the 7200. For those that don't understand, I'm being picky, but it's the third iteration of the Pro that has the figure 8 power cord. Not very loud. Temperature is still fine. It doesn't overheat. As long as it doesn't overheat, it's fine. Can be warm, but nothing to really worry or freak out about when it comes to the Pro's cooling system. At least the PS5 improves on fan noise and cooling system. But with the expenses going up and priorities I got, I'm just not willing and able to invest in a new generation hardware. The games itself, like, they're fantastic. A lot of fantastic games. Maybe some a bit overhyped, but a lot of really good games. So that's just where I'm at with my game. I don't want to right now. Maybe at a later time. If I don't in 2026, it's fine. Maybe 2027, 2028, maybe 2029 even. That could happen sometime later. So it's fine. That's just where I'm at. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see where it goes. But I mean, with the expenses, with the whole industry like becoming unaffordable, it just doesn't make anyone care. It just leaves some doubt on, like, where's it going and why should we keep going with console gaming anymore, you know? Dommage.